Hello. Let me increase the volume. Yes. Just wait for 2 minutes. Then we start. Hi Parth. Hi Yuvraj. Hello Sridhar. Hi guys. We start again with our Ascent series on mountaineering. And today we are having we have Bharath, who's going to join us very soon. Yes, he's already there. Hi Bharath.
Hi, sir.
All clear, audible,
Yeah,
visible.
it's very clear. Very clear. It's
Good.
clear. Too clear.
Yeah, that's nice. So we'll wait for just 2 minutes. We'll see other people once they join. Then we'll start.
Right,
Right.
right.
Just give me 1 second. Yes, I think this is better. And okay, so hello everyone. So today we're going to start a series which is called Ascent, and we're going to speak specifically today on Kanchanjinga, and that's because Boots and Crampons is really fortunate to have Bharath, who's leading the expedition to Mount Kanchanjinga. It's a great privilege, because Kanchanjinga, as we all know, is the third highest mountain in the world, and today we are going to discuss about that. But before that, we'll speak a few things about Boots and Crampons and what plans we have this year. Very exciting stuff is going to come up. We're going to share that, and by the end of this month, we're going to share other details about various things which will be going. Right. So without wasting much time, so Bharat, welcome. And today,
Thank you, sir.
and today we're
So,
going to speak. Yeah.
and till now, I gave only 2 talks. The 2 talks are with you only.
Yeah, I know. I've not seen you talking much, but I'm the only one I think who gets you talking.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, then thanks so much. Because otherwise we were hesitant to even ask you. Okay, Bharat. So tell me, first and foremost, there were about 5 to 6 people who asked just one thing: why Kanchanjinga?
Sir, it's not specific. I was I was in a journey completing all the 8,000 hours. Okay, I started
Right,
with Everest. Okay, obviously, anyone else, I started with Everest. Then I went to
right,
Manaslu and Lhotse, and now it's time for Kanchenjunga. Just like that. We
absolutely.
have a team. We thought of doing Kanchenjunga this time. So, actually, this team is. This team it's all known people only. Okay, we thought some are with me on Everest, some are with me on Manaslu, some are with me on Lhotse. So we all combine together, and it's a known team. We are doing Kanchenjunga this time. It's all a good composition of team from various countries. That's good.
Right, great. So we'll also speak about the diversity which we are having in the team. But then
Right.
before that, we would like to tell our viewers that in the Ascent series today is the Kanchanjinga we are going to speak about. Next series will
Okay.
be on Everest Base Camp, which we are coming in a big way this year. We've had a lot of people, exciting stuff coming up in the times to come. So every Thursday 9 p.m. we are going to be there. And next, Bharat, tell me about a lot of people who would not know about Boots and Crampons, how it all started. As a genetic engineer, where did mountaineering come into play?
No, it's not like that. I just did graduation just for graduation. I had to do, just I did it. Okay. From my child, from my schooling, even schooling, I did boarding school. We used to trek from very young age, from sixth class when we were around 11, 12 years. We started our trekking. We used to have marathons at that age. After that, after schooling, I did my graduation from Ooty, Tamil Nadu. So,
Right.
even Ooty, our college used to be surrounded by mountains. I attracted, towards mountains and all. Later, after my graduation, I thought of normally, attracted towards the mountains. I started climbing. So, obviously, like everyone else, I also went for Everest and I did it. Okay. After climbing Everest, I have a thought, to start a company. I'll tell you why. See, generally, whenever, when we see, we Indians, most of the people, I'm not telling everyone, but most of the people, one thing, they'll get into mind, whenever mountains comes into mountain, the target will be Everest. Professional
Right.
mountaineering. Okay. and they'll go in that way, like climbing Everest. Okay, they will some success, some won't, and all. Okay, but there is no there is lack of guidance missing. Like even it happens. It happened in my case also. Okay, no one. I don't even share. Like no one believes. Like first mountain I climbed is Everest. Like I never climbed any mountain. I just straight away went to Everest, climbed it, and came down. Okay, then I
Correct.
thought the journey, what I made for Everest till the top. Okay, I never enjoyed it. Like because like I used to have headache. Like uh, many problems. Okay,
Correct.
see, it's because of like I never climbed any other mountain. Like I didn't gradually develop. I just went and came down. It's not like going up and coming down. So after that I thought, like next mountain whatever I'm going to climb, you can see like every mountain on the summit I'll be doing some crazy things. Like it symbolizes that like I'm perfect, I'm active. Like this should be the summit. Everyone has to
Exactly.
like enjoy the summit, otherwise there's no use of climbing. So that is the reason. So that like to guide many people, like to to make involve many people into onto mountains. Like I started the company after my Everest in 2017. So from then, like many people will be asking for guidance and all. They'll come like obviously, like many people asking like, okay, chalo, we'll climb Everest. I'll guide them, like this is not the process.
Right.
I tell them like, don't do like me. Like it's not correct. Like go gradually, enjoy your every bit of your journey. Go climb 5,000ers. Like after 6-5, after try, if you get chance, try for 7,000 meters. Then go for Everest. So you will enjoy the journey. It's not like going up and down. No.
Right. No, no, absolutely. Very valid point. Like in our case, it was different because ours was the army team. So we had a lot of preparations.
Yep.
But then telling you the fact, once we were descending and once you reach Camp 2 and you reach the helipad, you find so many people waiting for rescue, which means,
Yes.
everybody is struggling there.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
very sad, and we get such a bad name because of this, the
Yeah.
people there, the Shepa community, everybody knows that, Indians come ill prepared,
Ill
which is
prepared.
extremely sad,
Yeah.
and that's why, it makes a lot of sense once we see reaching the summit and enjoying the summit, not just, taking a flag and coming back.
Yeah.
So absolutely, bang on, right on target. And a lot of people have said hi, Atanu, I can see Dinesh, Rupi and all. So hi guys, we've been so engrossed in talking, so I'm sure you would understand that. So Bharat, tell me, as you said that you went for Everest without much of guidance, proper preparation and all. So once you're going to Kanchanjunga, there are a lot of people who ask, and they have queries that, we want to do Kanchanjunga, we want to do Kanchanjunga base camp. Telling you frankly, a lot of people don't even understand that there's a difference between Kanchanjunga base camp and Kanchanjunga
Yes.
summit, which
Yeah.
is acceptable, we understand that. So tell me,
Right.
how do you identify that, which person should be taken to Kanchanjunga and who's that guy who or girl, you would not allow to be coming in the team? How do you make that selection?
No, like see, generally, like we ask, like we in it, we know that like this. This mountaineering community, it's very small. Somehow they have like this person is known to someone is known to someone. It's all a very small circle. Okay,
Right.
we obviously like will verify, like someone comes, like we ask them, like have you done 6,500? We even I'm not even telling 6,000. Like they have to cross 6,500 for Kanchanjunga. Okay, and there are some of the 8,000ers like Choyu, like Manaslu. They are fine. Okay, climbing, but Kanchanjunga is completely a different game again. So
Correct.
we need a 6,500 compulsory. That too with the courses, at least an
Okay.
advanced course, and 6,500 meters. So without that, no, it's too dangerous to take, because like it's not about the person. Like when you are going in a team, it affects whole the team.
Correct.
So 6-5,
Absolutely.
like without any doubt, they have to do
Correct.
6-5. Yeah.
Right. But at one point, you said very in a very subtle manner that Kanchanjunga is different.
Yeah.
And we also have heard a lot of stories about Kanchanjunga being called a killer mountain.
Yeah.
So why is it different? How is it different?
Yeah, coming to Kanchanjunga, when compared to other mountains, even Everest, like some people say, like Kanchanjunga, like it's like 2 times or 3 times tougher than Everest or some other mountains. Like okay, the Kanchanjunga, like what I heard, even this time, like I'm going for the first time. Okay, what I heard, like from my friends who climbed before, like and all, like they were telling me like what's the difference. the camp from each camp. Okay, the distance for Kanchanjinga, it's like a huge mountain. The distance
Right.
from camp to camp, it's huge. Okay, and okay, I mean, when compared to avalanche prone and all, it's like normal other mountains only. Okay, I mean,
Right.
every 8,000 has that problem. So
Correct.
obviously this
Correct.
mountain has that. But here, this distance from camp to camp, it's very far. And Kanchanjinga is the peak, from last summit point to the summit, the distance for Kanchanjinga, it's like, it's more than other 13,800ers. Okay, so
Wow.
because of that, like most of the people, like, it's not about going to the summit. Okay, so done, you have got oxygen, you have got energy, so you went up. Okay, done, you flag, I mean, you kept flag, took a photo, and fine, that's all fine. How about coming
Right.
back? And no one thinks about
Exactly.
coming back. You see, like, even last year we have like casualties. Last year casualties are just because of like exhausting. Okay,
Right.
mountaineering is all about like that maturity. Like, you have to understand. Even I'm not saying like, you go easily, I'll go and come back. Okay, I mean, even after most of the summits, like, people who have that maturity, like they'll come back just before like 50, 100 meters, 200 meters, like that. They have to understand about themselves, like, mountain is there always, like, we can go next time.
Absolutely.
So that,
No.
like,
So,
because of long route, I mean, most of the people, they don't, I mean, they can't keep their oxygen, I mean, they can't hold their oxygen to
right.
that extent. So that is the main reason Kanchenjunga it's a different game completely.
Right. So, there's someone who's saying a network problem, because I don't think there's any issue on our side. I'm able to hear clearly. So maybe you can check if anybody else is also facing a problem. Maybe you can comment and then we'll come to know. Another question which is coming from Pranjal Khatal, Pranjal had taken an interview in the previous series of Peter. He's asking
Yes,
if Peter
yes,
is
yes.
going to be there for the expedition.
Yeah. He's our like main key person. We were together on 2015 Everest, which was not happened. So then
Right.
Peter and me, we are both good friends. He was like, I mean, a 60 years guy with 66 pack and all, tough guy
Correct.
from Netherlands, like, a good
Absolutely.
friend of mine. Yeah. So he's
So,
there. Yeah.
right. And
He's there
Peter
in the
has
team.
also done 7 summits, right?
Yes, 7 summits. He has done 7 summits, and
Right.
right now, like, he's the grandfather of our team. Like, recently, he has got grandson.
Absolutely. So all those people who will be asking us about, if they can do the Everest base camp or something. So imagine this guy, he's a grandfather now. He's done all the 7 summits of all the 7 continents in the world. And then he's also climbing Kanchenjunga after having done Everest and, a lot of other stuff. So it's just that, if you have the determination, you have the guidance, then I'm sure, then the target is achievable. Now, coming on to that, Bharat, once the distance between camps increases, the oxygen, rationing is also important.
Yeah.
So that would involve, more in-depth planning for any expedition like Kanchanjinga rather than a small expedition like 6,000, 7,000. What do you say?
Yeah, obviously, like, uh, uh, when camps are more like, okay, I mean, ration and all, okay, that's fine. Like, it's arranged like completely. We have a backup. Okay, we have a
Right.
team for that. Like, obviously we'll set up a good base camp. We'll have long. I mean, even generally when ration and all coming to the part, like, we don't think mountain. Though we are completing a summit in 40 days, we'll keep a ration for at least 10-15 days more, so that in the worst case also, so it will be a backup for us.
Correct. So,
Yeah.
and now, I would also like you to speak about other team members who are climbing, especially, let's say about Suresh, about Satya,
Yeah.
the Indians who are there in the team, and, other people around the world. If you can
Yeah.
just speak 1 or 2 lines.
Right. So we have got a team of, actually last year it's a big team because of Corona. It was cancelled and all, and even now there are few countries, they have like some restrictions and all.
Right.
Right now, like, we Indians are 3 members. Me, Suresh already climbed 3 8,000ers and 5 of the 7 summits. He was with me
Right.
from the beginning. Everywhere, like, whatever I do, like, he was with me back.
Absolutely.
Recently we were on winter expedition to UT Kangri. So, and one more guy is Satya. Satya is from Uttar Pradesh. Satya works as a marine engineer, merchant navy. Okay,
Right.
he always, like, he used to sail around the world, and recently he was sailing a few months back. Even recently we were on UT Kangri. Yeah, I mean, first time I was meeting Satya, like, he was a good climber. Yeah, I saw him,
Right.
like, he was active, very active, decent guy. So, and Peter, obviously, we did talk. I mean, with Peter,
Yes.
nice guy. So Peter is doing, and one more, even
Jason.
Jason, yeah, Jason from Australia. Jason is coming, and again, 50
Yes.
years with six pack. We all
You know,
have a
that's amazing.
yeah,
So, what I wanted to highlight was, that there are people from different backgrounds, different age groups. Somebody is a marine engineer, somebody is working in a farm, somebody is a student. So, amazing. So,
yes, yes, yes.
okay, there's someone who wants to know, will frostbite be an issue on Kanchanjinga?
Yeah, yeah, frostbite, like, we have to take care of, I mean, clothing wise, we have to take care. I mean, I'm telling, right, like, it's, I mean, generally, where frostbites happens, like, at least after crossing 7,500 meters or something, like, I mean, down and all, like, okay, people knows them. I mean, people who are experienced will come to mountains like 8,000 is. So for
Right.
these people, frostbite happens on the top only, like, I mean, they don't want to compromise, like, they want to go for the summit, whatever happens in that case. So generally, in that cases, most of the frostbites will happen. So if we take
Exactly.
proper care, and at least when to come back, we have to know that maturity, like, so then everything can be controlled, not a problem.
Yeah. That's why we ask for experienced people who have been to certain situations, then only we take them to, such kind of fights. Now, there's a guy, Abhiroop, he wants to know Satya's full name. Are you aware? What is Satya's full name?
Okay, Satyadeep,
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 right.
yeah, Satyadeep.
Got it. Okay,
Okay,
so Bharath, yeah,
Satya was before, like, he did Mount Nun in Ladakh.
right.
Yeah,
Great.
he's from Pilibhit. Yeah.
Yeah, Pilibhit, right. Absolutely. So now there's someone who wants to know, that why is Kanchanjunga, not climbed from Indian side? Because why do we need to go to all the way from there?
Yeah, it was climbed from Indian time from India side. It was climbed thrice, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
thrice it was climbed, and whenever they climbed thrice from Indian times, they were not reached to the top. They were just below 50 meters or like 30 meters below, because
Okay.
in the olden days, like, there is some spiritual kind of thing, like, if someone steps on the top of Kanchanjinga, like, Sikkim, there is a problem for Sikkim. Like, I mean,
Correct.
everyone has to respect that. It's not like,
Religious aspect.
yeah. I mean, so yeah, there were three expeditions. So because of, I mean, even in 2000, yeah, in the year 2000, they strictly made that, even not that. Okay, I mean, you should not step on the mountain. From then, it was stopped completely.
Okay, nice. Okay, next question is that, there's someone who wants to know what is the brand of water bottles you use at such altitudes?
I mean, high altitudes, generally we use Nalgene. I mean,
Right.
Nalgene model water bottles. So, and that too, Nalgene, like, we can use like 7,000 kind of thing. After that, a flask is better again.
Yeah.
I mean, a thermos, which holds, yeah.
Yeah, otherwise,
Better.
the water is going to freeze it and then we keep breaking the bottles once you reach there, like
Yeah.
happened in UT Gangri. So,
UT Gangri.
that's true. Okay, now UT Gangri was again a very, very interesting expedition. Tell us about that. Why was it so exciting?
Yes, yes. Actually, obviously it's a winter expedition, and this time we had a very good team for all. I mean, again, all known people. I mean, we know each other, so we made a winter expedition to UT Kangri. So we thought, like, one of our friend, like, he climbed very recently the mountain. So we thought of going to UT Kangri. So it's because, like, even roadhead is, I mean, because it's a winter expedition, and this time we are taking a new route. So we thought of making some safer side, so that roadhead is like a very good. It's nearby. Something happens, like, roadhead is very nearby to UT Kangri. So we decided to go to UT Kangri. So first we saw the normal route. Normal route was like, I mean, before one of our friend climbed, like, it was like completely full of snow. Like, if we enter that zone, we go inside. I mean, no option of, like, snow was till the waist, snow was till the chest and all. It's like, it's down, like, no choice. No, yeah, deep. So we were finding a new route. Okay, I mean, we went there, we set up a base camp. Base camp temperature was -20. And again, like, I mean, we have shared the pictures, like, bottles were like broken, like, because of the chillness.
Correct.
So we made another camp, summit camp. So after that, like, we went to the summit. Even on the summit day, actually, we thought of, like, mountain was 6030 last time what we got the information, and we were finding new route. I mean, it was a different experience. I mean, obviously. So
Correct.
it's like even the day was completely white out, like, it's snowing completely. We were like knee deep inside the snow. We were, I mean, still finding the route. It's the first time taking the different
Right.
route. So we crossed 6010, I mean 6100. Summit was still much, because we were
Right.
like at a certain point, like we were thinking, actually we came to UT Kangri, or like we missed on, because we would we took a separate route, or it's some other mountain.
Right.
So I mean, it's almost like morning. We started at 6 o'clock. It's almost like 3 in the evening. So it's and again I told you, right? It's not going to the top. Again, it's coming back. That's very
Exactly.
important. The two with the
Yeah.
team. So in the last, I mean, we were looking at the summit. I mean, it's around like 70 meters more. So we thought of like, done. Like, our purpose is like, we were going for a big mountain. So we want
Right.
to acclimatize well. We want to see the worst conditions. So we were satisfied with everything what on the day happened. So
Yes.
we traveled in the worst situation. That's done. I mean, whatever we thought is done. So we just came back. So
Exactly.
I think night. I mean, it was around like again 7 or 8 in the evening, like when we reached the. I mean, back to the base camp.
Right.
So then,
So absolutely. The main purpose, that's where the difference comes between a winter climb and a normal climb. Winter
yes, yes,
climb
yes.
is not to the summit. It's about training to the worst conditions which you can
First
face.
conditions.
And especially for people doing 8,000 meters next year, this is a must, because
Yeah,
this is the nearest level you can simulate the conditions which you're going to face in, be it Kanchanjinga or any other 8,000 meters.
right.
Right. So there's another question somebody is asking, uh, that the individual has done Stoke as well as he has done Pangarchuli. So he's asking any 6,000-meter peaks which Boots and Crampons would be doing this year. So
Yes,
I
yes,
think
yes. Like, yeah.
UT, you can speak about that.
Yes, yes. UT Kangri, like, even most of the people, we were like, we also have explored like few other different mountains. Will be like by the month end, like we'll be telling that, I mean, new mountains in Ladakh, because
Right.
best option till date. So stock was closed because of like, climate. I mean, people destroyed the, I mean, nature there, like because of the like
Garbage and all.
yeah, till 2022, like it was closed. So now when UT Kangri, like, it was the best option, UT Kangri. So there are many other peaks, like we are still I mean, exploring a little bit. Next time at least people has to, I mean, diversify. Like everyone got going to the same mountain, like, it's getting
Yes.
disturbed a lot. So at least we are finding new ways, like, people, even UT Kangri, like it takes like I think 2 hours from Ladakh. So it's nearby.
Right.
I mean, even base camp is, I mean, nearby the roadhead. So there are many other peaks.
That's why, Boots and Crampons, that way, in the way we discussed, we try to get over this herd mentality that, if everybody
Yeah,
is going to Stoke, we'll also do Stoke. If
stop.
everybody is doing something. So we need to give more options to
More
climbers
options.
so that you can, not just queue behind one behind the other in a long line, because that's not real mountaineering or fun is all about.
Yes, yes.
And so that's why I think a major role is filled. Now, other thing is that, this is as regards serious mountaineering is concerned. There are a lot of things which we are doing for beginners, like the NIM adventure courses or, smaller level peaks. So, can you tell us about that? How did it happen? The adventure course or something?
So come again. There is a lack.
Okay. So, this is something which we are doing, like, say, Kanchanjinga, or we have people who are climbing Everest with us. This is for super experts.
Yes,
Somebody
yes.
who wants to start. So how should they start? Somebody is also asking that how can I start
Yes.
mountaineering? So
Right, right.
what do you suggest?
Yeah, I mean, daily, like, we'll be getting a lot of, a lot of people calling us or messaging us, like, sir, I mean, I'm just interested into mountaineering. I mean, how do I start?
Right.
I'll say a simple answer. Maybe like some like and some don't like. It's like, every time I said like, just wait. We have like, in India we have seven institutions which provide basic and advanced courses. Okay, choose a basic course which is for 28 days. Go and do the course. Okay, after the course, if you come out, like, most of the people will filter there itself, like, some people don't like, some likes and all. Okay, I always say, like,
Right.
28 days spending in such a situation, you can do anything in mountaineering if you like it. Okay,
Correct.
it builds the mental strength. Okay, it's not about like, maybe you may don't perform. I mean, it's not like, you may perform good or not. It's not like that. Okay, maybe you may not. Maybe you get a B
Correct.
certificate. Okay, but mentally it gives a lot of strength. 28 days spending there, like, doing doing all the things by your own. So it changes a lot. Just, that is why I tell, like, it's a simple answer. Like, go do the course, 28 days. Then you will understand. Doing a course with like other 80 members of your friends. Okay, it's like at least you start your own journey.
Absolutely. So, like we have just now two people, be it Anjani or Atanu, both of them were there for the 10-day adventure course we had. And the feedback was amazing, the kind of exposure they got, the kind of pain they went through. It was, the kind of experience generally people don't get once they're outside. So, that was a great learning, and that's a first stepping stone to, climbing higher mountains to be done in future.
Yes.
So that again is a, great thing. So there's this guy, Yuvraj, he wants to say that, he has done a 4,500 meter peak. What should be his journey to 8,000 meter if he wants to do in, let's say, 2 years, 3 years? How should he plan? Let's say somebody has done a code. After that, what should he do?
Okay, 4,500 meters done. Like, that's good. Like, we're not saying it's okay. It's a good height. Okay. So after that, gradually, like, the person has to increase. Yuvraj was asking that, right? Like, he has to increase that. Like, at least he has to touch, like, next, he should keep a target of like 5,800. We have Indian mountains has got like, many mountains, which are like 5,500 to 5,800. So he has to keep the next target as that. So the next 6,500 or 7,000. So then he can look for 8,000.
Correct. So, if somebody wants to do a 7,000, what are the options which are there, which, for example, Boots and Crampons is planning this year?
Yes. So we are planning in the month of June. It's like, we plan on June 1st, the mountain, which is Satopant, which is in Uttarakhand. Right. We are doing in collaboration with Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. We are taking a very good team of Sherpas this time, like, to fix the rope. Even I observe, like, so most of the time Indian mountains, like, rope fixing, it's a bit problem when compared to mountains in Karakoram, mountains in, like, Nepali Himalayas, like, Indian mountains are a bit tougher. Okay, when compared to all these mountains. So, rope fixing, it's very important. So we are taking a very good team this time.
Right. So, Atanu, again, a dear friend, he wants to know, can we summit solo in peaks above 6,000 meters? I'm sure there are a lot of people all around the world who have done Everest, who have done all the 8,000 meters solo. So yes, it's achievable, but then, that level of commitment, training, expertise, has to be on a different level. You cannot expect that, just because you've done a Stoke or any other 6,000, you should do a solo. So yes, as we said, it's achievable for sure. But then you need to train a lot, carry a lot, have such kind of gears, and then you should do. Right?
Yes.
So, Bharath,
climbing solo, sorry to interrupt. Climbing solo, there should be a lot of luck factor also. I'll tell you an example. I'll tell you about Manaslu. Like, Manaslu, what happened, like, we did summit and we were back. We just came back, we just walked into the base camp. In the last stretch, it's a very big stretch, last stretch. It's completely a big white ground, snow ground, like, we are walking. My co-climber, Suresh, was going in front. I was coming back. So we were roped up, anchored and everything clearly. Though, it was the last days of the season. Okay, we submitted everything gone, like, we submitted on the last day of the season, last window. So by the time, like, crevasses got opened and all, like, while coming, I was deep inside the crevasse. Okay.
Oh.
Even I can't shout because there is no one. Suresh is a little far away. Okay, this guy, like, after some time, I don't know, after some time, like, he just looked back. He couldn't find me. Okay, he wasn't searching, like, he throw his bag, like, where is this guy? He was finding. Then he saw, like, I went inside, but then I'm safe. All fine, because, like, I was anchored. Okay, so I was anchored, like, he came back, and again, like, he took me up, like, he tried to took me, like, it was not happened because, like, it's a small space or something like that. Then he waited for one more guy to come. Then two of them, they pull me up. Okay, all these things, like, when we are going solo, if no one is there, like, these are that is what, like, even luck factor is the main.
Absolutely. In a big team also, there's very thin line of, safety and, risk you have to balance. But then in solo, you've got to be prepared. I'm sure if you find one solo climber, you will find 15 who have died, doing solo
Yes.
expedition. So
Yes. Yes.
got to be that level of cranky to try something that. But
Yeah.
yes, as you said, achievable. Now, Bharat, coming on back to our main thing today is Kanchanjinga.
Yeah.
So Kanchanjinga from Kathmandu, what is the journey from Kathmandu to the base camp to the number of camps and summit? Just take us through that.
Right. So generally, from Kathmandu will fly. I mean, will take a small flight. You saw Lukla kind of
Right.
flights. Okay, we'll go to a place called Badrapur. Okay,
Okay.
it has got a small, like everywhere in Nepal, all the small places will be having airports, small airports. Okay, we'll go
Correct.
to Badrapur. I mean, it's just very small journey, like maybe 47 hour, like fly and all. So after that, like we'll have 6 to 7 days based on like our acclimatization and all. We'll reach the base camp of
Okay.
Kanchenjunga, which is like 5,145 something. I mean, plus
Right.
or minus meters. So we'll set up a camp. After that, there are 4 camps above.
Okay.
So, from base camp, camp 1, camp 2, camp 3, camp 4. Camp 4 setup and camp 4 to the summit. And camp 4 to the summit, this is a very major part, which is like, I told you, right? Like no other mountain has got that much long distance of, going to the summit.
Okay.
So where everyone has to be careful in that region. I mean, there to
Correct.
be, I'm telling like, it's not about careful, it's about maturity. You have to be matured. You have to think matured there. Okay. So not unable to, like whatever it is, if it is goes by 100 meters or 50 meters, turn back. No problem.
Obviously, you don't
Yeah.
want to take any chances. You don't have
Yes.
second attempts at those altitudes. You're either alive
Yeah.
or you are dead.
Then,
So, very valid point that, it's more important to be alive rather than be a
like,
summiter. There's no point being a dead summiter. That's for
yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Everybody understands that. So, for Kanchanjunga, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. What would be the journal time between one camp? Like, for example, we have Kumbhois. Well, we take about 8 hours to climb that. Or
Yeah.
between camp 1, camp 2, it takes about 4 to 5 hours to do that. How much
Yes. Yes.
time is there between camps for Kanchanjunga?
Yeah. It's almost like, I mean, when compared to other mountains, Kanchenjunga is like 1, 2 hours more. Okay. I
Oh,
mean, you just think, I mean, generally human body, I mean, on
yes,
mountain, it holds for 6 to 8 hours. Okay,
right.
and 68 hours, fine. Okay, from 8th to 9th hour, that hour will, it's not like, again, it looks like again 8 hours.
Again, it
Okay,
does.
if we are
Absolutely.
human body after 8 hours, it's collapsed. Okay, so generally 6 hours. Okay, six to
Very
seven
true.
hours, like, based on the, I mean, higher camps,
Conditions. Yeah.
higher camp and conditions. Okay, I mean, when coming to Kanchenjunga, it is bit more, and that bit more is like huge on mountains. Yeah.
Exactly. Very true. So, Bharat, tell me, from Nepal to Nepal, how many days does it take to climb Kanchanjunga?
50 to 55 days.
Okay. So, because a lot of people, they ask, how many days it would take to climb Everest or Kanchanjunga. So, 55 days is something which you need to plan. And then for those 55 days, you need to prepare for 3 to 4 years if you are starting
Yeah,
from ground
starting
zero.
from, yeah, yes,
Yeah, because
3 years at least.
this would be the timeline which you should be having. Now, a lot of people, I've seen based on the queries which we get, the team sends us after filtering. Most of the time, people have this thing that, they have all the guts to do that, all the josh. They have, the eagerness to do it. And now you have told them that, what is the right way of approaching an 8,000 meter. What they lack is that, how much does it cost? Because cost is a big factor. 8,000 meters
Yes.
like Kanchanjunga. How much does it cost for Kanchanjunga?
Yeah, for Kanchenjunga, I mean, when compared to Everest, like, no, it's less. Okay, I mean, Kanchenjunga and all, like, it comes to, everything includes like 15, 16 lakh.
Right.
Okay, Everest will be around like 26, 27, I mean, 30, like, and all,
Correct.
like, based on services we take, but not that. Kanchenjunga, I mean, though it is tougher than Everest, I mean, in price, because, like, permit cost. Permit
Right.
cost, what we pay for Everest, it's over like Indian rupees is something around 8 and a half lakh. So for Kanchenjunga, it is just 1,75,000. So that is where the
Wow.
most of the difference.
Correct. Now, so tell me, for a person who is new into mountaineering, who is just starting, he or she would not understand that, why do you need to spend for those 60 days 26 lakhs,
Yes.
which is quite
Yeah.
obvious. So tell us,
Sure.
why do you need to spend 26 lakhs or 30 lakhs for Everest? Where does that money
Ja-
go?
yeah, I mean, for Everest, obviously, like, we are paying 800 lakhs to the permit itself, to the government.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that is where the main price difference will come with the other 8,000ers and Everest. Other than that, like each oxygen cylinders will be around like 38,000. We'll be using like four, at least two for spare. So 38 into
Absolutely.
the oxygen cylinders. And again, like, Sherpa charges, like, Sherpa, we have to pay around like I mean, based on the Sherpa experience, I mean, there are like 3 to 5 lakhs in between. And again, the oxygen cylinders, Sherpa will also use the oxygen cylinders and the Sherpa insurance and our insurance. Like, something
Correct.
happens, like chopper rescue, like all these things. And again,
Absolutely.
base camp setup is the major thing. It's a huge, like, 50 days, your team. I mean, it's not about you, right? Like, you share pass, like cooks and everything, everyone ration. It's all
Right.
like, again, like generators, fuel, setting up at a camp, like, you have to be, like, you have to be in a very healthy condition. So you have to eat a proper food and all, like, cooks,
Right.
they're struggling. Their salaries and everything. So
Yeah,
it's all like,
absolutely.
it's a huge,
It makes
coming,
sense. 60
yeah,
days and those conditions, if you're on a roadhead, then there's no problem of getting
yes,
food, rations, whatever. But then if you
yes,
are
yes, yes.
15 days away from the nearest airport also, then
Yeah.
obviously, it's going to cost money. And not just for
Correct.
you, for the complete, your support
Complete team.
team,
Yes.
and then tents and all. Everything is of that level. If the tent is there, it has to be of those temperatures and all. Right. So very clearly explained, I'm sure you've understood that where does the money go into, because
Yeah.
there are a lot of companies, frankly, I've seen a few people, again, I met them on Everest. They paid, about 16 lakhs, 18 lakhs on Everest. And these are the people who didn't even come to know who their Sherpas were. The Sherpas
Yeah.
were not of good quality, then at that level, that is the time you regret that,
Right.
why did I compromise on, the price? Because
Price.
I remember a case where an Indian from Noida, he had come to me at the summit camp asking for a gas regulator. And in the bargain, after 2 days, he told me that, everything was fine. It's just that the Sherpa was giving excuses. He didn't want to climb. And we know that, once they reach 8,000 meters, they get the summit bonus. So that's why
Yeah.
they were. So, that you should never compromise as regards life is concerned. And then once so many things are at stake. So it becomes very, very important.
Yeah.
Next question is, Anjani is asking, is 2 to 3 years of training compulsory for an 8,000 meter?
Question one.
Is
Once again, sir.
2 to 3 years of training mandatory for going to an 8,000 meter?
So sorry, come again.
Okay, I'll answer.
Actually,
Anjani, so,
no. Actually, like, I'm getting a call, so I just, cut it off. So,
okay,
so
okay.
because of that, it was interrupted. Sorry.
No
Yeah, come
worries.
again.
So Anjani, was there with us for the NIM course, did exceedingly well. She
Okay.
wants to know that, is it compulsory for a person to undergo 2 to 3 years of training before going for an 8,000 meter?
No, sir. Actually, see, even I answered this, like, this answer to many people. There is no such rule. Okay, I mean, generally, right? Like, Nepal completely dependent on the tourism. Like, what we pay in terms of, like, royalty and all. It's about their livelihood. Okay, so that, like, even though the rules are there in the books, I mean, no one follows that. Okay,
Right,
it's not like you have to do this, you have to do that. Like, then only you have to go to the summit and all. Okay, it's
right.
like, it's just, I mean, to tell the person you have to enjoy yourself. I mean, even after spending a lot of money and all, like, it's for yourself. You have to do this so that, like, it will be good. Otherwise, nothing. Like, I mean, if you want to go, I mean, someone wants to go and die, like, they can go. They are always welcome. Like, they can spend and,
Most welcome to that. But then,
yeah,
yeah, two aspects to that. First of all, if you want to take a shortcut, please go ahead, do it. Don't come with us. We are not going to be
yeah,
party to your stupidity. Other thing is that, 2 to 3 years comes because, if you have to climb a 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, you cannot do in one season because it
yes.
takes a lot of time to prepare. And,
Fine.
right now sitting in Delhi, in Hyderabad, in other places, it looks easy that,
Mm.
we should directly do 7,000, but then actually it is not. So once you start climbing, you will understand the, difficulties once you climb. Okay, there's a lady, Lalita, she wants to know that is it feasible to opt for mountaineering at a later age?
There is no, I mean, age limit at all. Like, if you're fit, if you can handle your body, it's all, I mean, always welcome to the mountains.
Correct. Same thing was with me. I was 43 once I was once it was decided that I should go for Everest. And everybody was like, why does a 43-year-old need to go? Why not a 25-year-old? And once I Googled, I realized, the maximum age of a person who has done Everest is 77.
Yes.
So if somebody is more than 77, then okay, you can think twice. But then till 77, it's a safe age to climb. So nothing to worry. And Lalita ma'am, because we've been in touch earlier, let me tell you, and she's done Antarctica. She's been to
Nice.
Antarctica, so she's aware. So I don't think there's any age as such which is a hindrance if you're otherwise physically fit and you are prepared for that. Now there's someone who wants to know that Pranjal had also asked the similar question. Can someone go without supplementary oxygen by only practicing? So I want you to cover two things. One is the Jason Wala gym and other aspects of without oxygen.
Yes. So without oxygen, generally, yeah, people do. Okay, even people. There are 6 people, from army, like Indian Army, who, there are 6 Indians, like, who climbed Everest without oxygen. That 6 are from Indian Army itself. They, everyone, people who plan for that, like, they have to train in such a way, like, they have to train not in the ground, even in the altitudes itself, like, then only they can do that. And there is, one of our friend, Jason, in Australia, like, even I visited the gym. It was like high altitude gym. No, the same gym, like what all the equipment normal gym has, even it has the same. But we can, through the remote, we can adjust the altitude. So, like, till what altitude, like, we do workout and all. We have to use at least such gyms. I think in India, it has not come yet. I heard, like, in Mumbai, like, they were establishing such kind of gym. Okay. So, if it is not there, like, we have to train in the altitudes. And that too, like, we Indians, we have got a broad lungs, the oxygen intake, these lungs will take a lot of oxygen intake. When we see Sherpa, it's in their community, they'll be having a very compressed lungs, which requires only very little oxygen to fill it.
Yeah.
So that is the reason. So most of the Italians, like, yeah, most of the Europeans mainly, they try, climbing without oxygen because, like, their structure is completely, their build-up is completely different. So it's an additional advantage for them. But we people, we have to train a lot. When compared to others, we have to train a lot. Even Africans, like, it's impossible for them. There's like, that's huge. There's broadness. Their lung broadness is like, it's very huge compared to us.
Absolutely. In fact, since you had mentioned about the people who have climbed, the Indian Army people who have climbed the Everest without oxygen, I happen to know a few of them. But then, frankly speaking, these people have a different genetic build-up. These people are not the ones who've been staying in planes and, training and then going to Everest. These are the people who have been staying in high altitudes right from childhood, like the Sherpas we have. So right from the beginning, very lower age, your lung capacity becomes, that rich that you're able to do it. And the hypoxic environment, Jim, you're mentioning, absolutely right. I've seen the one which is there in the Indian Army. They train the Olympians for that in Pune.
Nice.
So
Okay.
the Olympic team trains there. So you can understand the scarcity of resources which are there in the country. So anything like that, definitely is good.
Yep.
So there's another question that, there's someone who says that, I want to train for 8,000 meters. So apart from doing expeditions, how can you train for that physically, endurance and other things? How should we train?
Sir, like, see, generally, I'll make it more clear. Okay. If it is like, doing expeditions and training, that's a different case. Okay. Not going to the expeditions and completely training on ground for 8,000, it's completely different. Because though you are strong, like, you are big marathon runner, like, you may run easily a 40 km, like, in a very good time. And completely mountain game is completely different because the altitude, it plays a different role. Okay.
Yes.
On a different role on the body. It's completely different. Okay. So it's always, better to test, our body, like, how it behaves on 5,000, and after that, how it behaves on 6,000. Then it gradually we have to increase. Otherwise, like, training on ground, it won't work out. Okay,
Yeah.
then fine. When a person is going to the altitude, okay, he climbs 6,000 or like 6,000 and all. Like, it's always better. Most of the people, like, they'll be stretching themselves in the gym completely. Okay, gym is fine. I'm not saying, like, don't go to gym. Okay, it's always better to have, weight kind of thing, chest weights, ankle weights. Okay, and it's more of cardio. I mean, see, when you're doing a gym, I mean, you have a time of like daily 2 hours. I mean, 2 hours for the workout. Workout like at least 1 hour 20, 1 hour 30 minutes on cardio itself.
Great.
So build your like thighs, like calf muscle, shoulders, like I mean, do more cardio.
Great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we have Wangdi now. He says Tashid. Okay, so Wangdi is one of those, who knows a lot of people who have done Everest without oxygen. So, he would understand again better manner. So there are a lot of people who are asking about, the Everest base camp, how many days it should be, and, how much time does it take. So tell us about the three things which we are doing for Everest base camp for the benefit of those, the three different batches which we are running.
No, I mean, it's better, like, it's you. I mean, you have to answer it, like,
Okay.
you are leading the team,
Fine.
so that, like, people will be more connected to you if you answer it, like.
Right. So sure.
Yeah.
First of all, I would say, if anybody wants to ask any questions, we still have 10 minutes to go. Please shoot. Otherwise, we have Boots and Crampons Insta handle. You're already connected. Feel free to ping us anytime. We'll be happy to address whatever questions you have. Now, regarding Everest Base Camp, a lot of people have been asking. So the thing is that Everest Base Camp, we are running 3 batches this year from Boots and Crampons. We realized that there are a lot of people who wanted to do EBC, but then there were some issues or the other. They were not being guided properly, or once they reached Nepal, they were getting fooled because of, going for a cheaper options. So this time we have decided that we'll be running 3 batches. The first batch is 15 days, preferably for those who have been into trekking earlier and they are in a better physical state. They've been actively involved in, gyms or physical exercises and treks for sure. They've been to good altitudes earlier. Then we are having a batch which is of 19 days, which is people who don't have to rush against time. They can manage 19 days of leave. They want to explore. They want to do yoga and, learn the benefits of high altitude training there with the yoga, because we realized there are a lot of my friends who have been to Kenya and they've been training at Iten for the marathons and the, long distance runs. And high altitude that way, benefits your body. So that's why we have come up with a very unique package of including both yoga as well as the Everest Base Camp. So that's a 19 days thing. Apart from that, we are doing another thing which is for children. Their parents at times, because of official commitments, they don't have the capability of getting that much leave. So we're having a children's only batch, which is again in May. So April and May are 2 months wherein we will be running 3 batches. Anybody wants to join, we are more than happy to guide you, because we have time to prepare you for that, even if you're not well prepared right now, right? So that's as regards Everest Base Camp and what are the criteria of coming in 3 different teams, which we have, laid down. Now somebody is again asking, any 6,000 meter plus expedition recommended? I think Bharath has already answered that, the expedition which we're doing. So if you have missed out, you can again check the recording of this. So there is a peak UT Kangdi which Bharath had done about 10 days back, right?
Yes. I mean, not even 10 days, like 5 days back.
Exactly. So that's a beautiful peak. We've been, sold out to that idea of doing the same thing again in summers. So stay tuned. We keep updating all our programs and, stuff related to that on our Instagram handle. So it's a great option. Website, yes, we understand we need to do a lot of work on that, but then we are focusing more on Insta, because going again to a website, then checking, generally we find Instagram better. Now there's someone who wants to know Ek Jagah, there's some by the name, how to make mountaineering your living apart from passion in a country like India. Bharath.
Actually, yeah. I mean, Ek Jagah. I mean, it's a good concept. Like, I met this guy Karthik on Friendship Peak. Nice guy. Okay. We had a little chat there. Like, we have a very huge market. It's a huge market. I mean, though we have a lot of companies, like, for trekkings and all. I mean, recently I was telling, like, so I was telling about Vipin, who started his first company, Wild Soul Adventures,
Right.
for Kedar Kanta trek. He took almost 200 people in the first, different batches, but, so there's a huge market in India for trekking and all. Now, when coming to climbing, like, it takes time, because, like, people going for 6,000 and all, like, they look at the team leader, like, and it's about mainly trust. Okay, I mean, for that it will take time to build up. Okay, otherwise trekking community, trekkings and all, like the next biggest market in India, like will be a adventure, and I mean, this treks and all. There is a huge market.
Right.
Oh,
Absolutely. So, but then, since there are a lot of options, it's very important to weigh that options correctly. Because unlike marathon running or long distance running, it's about life and death. In running, if you're not feeling well, you just stop. Somebody will come and pick you up. You take a cab and go back. In mountains, if something goes wrong at 20 meters below UT Kangdi, nobody is going to help you out. You've got to have a good team which will be able to support you.
yes,
So
yes.
don't take any chances as regards life is concerned. It's very precious. So whatever decisions you're going to take them very carefully. There are a lot of people who tell me that sir, why is it so expensive? And I send them links of uh, companies which are one third, one fourth our price. But then I tell them that best of luck. So be very careful. Be if you cannot afford it, do for a lower peak, build up slowly. But then it's important to value your life, because it's just not your life; it's everybody else's also. So there's someone who wants to know, when are you planning to conquer Kanchanjunga? So conquer, I'm sure we don't agree to that. But then yes, uh, what are timelines you're looking for Kanchanjunga?
April, May, sir. Every time it's the same season.
Right.
April, May, spring
So
season. Yeah, which
yeah,
is
actually it
best.
was to happen in 2020, but then because of
Yeah.
what happened, everybody knows. Okay, Bharat, what after Kanchanjunga?
So Kanchanjinga, next 8,000er I planned is Choyu, sir. Mostly
Okay,
Choyu. Okay, because like Choyu, I thought of doing. I mean, Choyu has a different season when compared to these peaks. Choyu has got autumn, which that mountain is best for autumn season. Okay, not the
okay,
spring. So because like next year, like which is 2020 2022, I mean, I have planned. And I mean, I just want it's my personal climb. I just want to go and complete Denali. So which will be
okay.
my sixth among sixth 7,000, like in 7,000. I just want,
Seventh.
at the same time I'm completing the 7,000 series also. I did five. I completed five. So sixth I just want to go for Denali. I mean, after Denali I just want to complete with Antarctica as the last. So Denali, like
Right,
we can't say because like weather conditions and all, like,
right.
so that's why I kept it at the sixth. I'll complete and I'll go. Because
Great.
again, yeah, Denali, and when I keep Denali in 2022, again it will disturb my 8,000, this season. Because
Right,
again, Denali, we have to go in May only. So I mean,
right.
Denali has got like only 2 months, May, June.
So lots of planning which goes into each and
Yeah.
every aspect of this.
Okay.
Okay, there's Mountaineer Amit. He wants to know any upcoming trek before EBC so that we can prepare ourselves and our body. Any upcoming trek? So no, upcoming trek we are planning to do in March end, which is Pataslu trek. So that's 4,200 meters. So if you want, you can check up in a day or two. We'll be sending their details. Now there's someone else. He's asking, ABC is going to be my first trek. Is it okay? Definitely it's okay, because he's been with us for about 15 days now. We've been sharing the training plans. And, EBC, most of the people are bothered, because they feel Everest is getting Everest name which comes. But then EBC is just the base camp, and if you are consistent in your training, it's definitely doable. That's nothing. People do it in 10 days. Normally people do in 12 days. We have taken 15 days for that, so that, we are not rushing against time,
Yes.
because safety, comes first. Come what may, we're not going to compromise ever on that. So that's our point and our motto. That's first and foremost is safety. Then is summits or climbs, whatever. That's secondary. Not that important compared to safety.
Yeah.
So anyone else who wants to ask? We have close to about 5 minutes. Can anyone do multiple 8,000ers in one season? Munna wants to ask.
Yes, I mean, we have an example of Nirmal Purja.
Right,
It's
So
a
if
slight
somebody
example.
wants to answer this, just Google Nirmal Purja, or you'll find lots and lots of
Man,
news about him.
yes, yes. Many are there, like David Mingma, like lot many people are there.
So no, it's safe to say that whatever we assume the level of difficulty, there's someone who has already done that. especially after that K2 winter climb, I think, there's nothing which is impossible. You just have to think. Initially, maybe once Reynold Messner must have done without oxygen. People would have thought, how would somebody do without oxygen? But then everything is possible. It's just that you've got to prepare for that.
Yeah.
Right, Bharath? So there's someone how many days it takes for EBC from Kathmandu to Kathmandu? Okay, outdoor India, we have just answered that, from 15 days to 18 days and 19 days, 3 batches which we are running. So up to you, whatever you want to choose. People do it in 10 days, not advisable at all. Rupi wants to know what altitude we may start having oxygen cylinder. Bharat, when do we use oxygen cylinder? What altitude?
Yeah, so generally a human body, normal human body requires oxygen from like 7,000 meters. Okay. And again, some people use from 6,500 so that they can match if they are, little bit low, they can match the pitch on higher altitudes. Some people use from 6,000. So generally, general thing is like from 7,000 meters, generally a body requires oxygen. So actually, to answer this question, I tried on Manaslu. I never prepared without oxygen. I just had because as a company, starting a company, there will be a lot of people how is the feel of doing without oxygen, like how you feel and all. So I thought of why to without reading. Why to read and answer. So let me experience it. So I tried it. I entered 8,000 till 8,000. Then I thought it was just more 156 meters. 8156 is 8163 is Manaslu. So I thought after reaching 8,000, my mind is it's going away from the body. So I thought it's danger. So I waited for some time. So there is one more climber who is going back. I took a cylinder. It's all I experienced it. So it's not it needs a lot of training. I just tried that way. I was active on summit camp. I was not tired at all. So I thought of how just try, just have a take. So it was not happen. So I did with oxygen only.
Yeah.
So from 7,000.
Right. Okay. So I think we'll have time only for the last question, which is very interesting. They want to know how do you train mentally for that? Physically, there's a lot which is involved. Mentally, again, a lot of challenges are there. So how do you train mentally for this?
So it again depends from person to person, sir. Someone has a different thing. For me, it's for me it all came from the experience. That is what I'm telling you, right? For the first of my expedition to Everest, I was not prepared. Nothing I was not a single day I'm not happy, disturbing, all these things, all mentally. I used to call home, I used to talk hours. The charges, how it cost. Okay, I used to call a lot. I used to spend at least daily. I used to talk 2 hours or something like that. I was not prepared for my first attempt. So for me personally, it all came through experience. So I was spending, and one more thing, if you have a good team, that's not a problem. Spending 50 days it's nothing. Even Lhotse, I found your team. I used to come to your tent and all. I used to spend with your team and all. That's a good. It's all depends. If you have a good team, chalo, not a problem at all. Yeah, since
Bharath has started this topic, so I met Bharath first time at the Everest base camp. Bharath was leading a team to Lhotse. I was climbing Everest. And that's how we connected. There's someone who was asking details about the company. So Bharath founded started this company in 2017, which is Boots and Crampons. And, then that time we were focusing only on international summits, like 7 summits and all, be it Kilimanjaro, be it Elbrus, Kosciuszko, Concagua. But then because of COVID, things changed and we realized, it was not comfortable for people to travel abroad. And then we shifted focus to Indian mountains, and then we did Friendship Peak or Rudugar and all. So that's how the thing shifted. We met at Everest Base Camp. We've been in touch, and then I joined Bharath, and then it's been a great journey. As we said, if the team is good, you enjoy, you love every bit of it, even if you are spending 20 hours working or struggling a lot. But then at the end of the day, it's good fun if it is something which you can connect and you love to do what you're doing. Right, Bharath? Hope you are happy.
Yeah.
Training, Vela. So thank you so much, Bharath. Had a great time.
Thank you very much.
If someone has more questions to ask, we are always open to discussions. Our numbers are there everywhere on the internet. You can ping either Bharath or me or Boots and Crampons. We'll be happy to interact whenever time, whatever discussions you want to do, right from discussions on base camp to the Everest summit and Kanchanjinga and a lot of other stuff.
Lord.
Right? So thank you so much, guys. Wonderful talking to you. Next Thursday, again, we'll catch up. We'll speak about Everest Base Camp. Bharath, last few words.
Last few words. So, I mean, yeah, people like, who takes mountaineering, like, even in the session, I was telling people, like, it's not about like, people are like, like mentally prepared, like we have to summit, whatever this, I mean, cause and all, like, it's all like, it's not about summit. When you are tired on the summit, that's it. Like, come again and climb. Okay. So be happy. I mean, happy in the sense, like, if you're well trained and all, like, obviously, like, you feel strong. You have that strength to enjoy the wave on the summit. That's what I want to say. Like, train well. Okay. I mean, take your time. Don't be in hurry like me. I mean, that's how I started. So that's not the correct way. I mean, happy, like, whatever, like, whatever you spend the days on mountains, just enjoy it.
Enjoy the journey. Yeah. Enjoy the journey. And then summits will automatically happen, if you're enjoying the journey. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Bharath. All the very best for your Kanchanjinga.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
It's going to be a big challenge. Very tough.
Yes,
I'm sure people would understand a little bit of it now, but then still there's much more to it than we can expect. All the best. Thank you so much, guys. See you next Thursday. Thank you so much, everyone. Next Thursday, 9 p.m. Again, we'll catch up. Lots of discussions. Please feel free to ask whatever questions you have anytime. Thank you so much. Good night. Bye-bye. Jai Hind.
Thank you.
Bye.